Okay, so today we are in Potosi, Bolivia, and Potosi, Bolivia at 4,090 meters is the tallest city or the highest city in the world. You can definitely feel it in my lungs. And today I'm gonna do something very, very stupid. But first, I'm really hungry. Go get some breakfast, and they have these amazing Salteña things, but apparently it starts early and there's a line and they sell out. So let's go get some breakfast, then I'll explain what we're gonna do and the sort of history of the town and the stupid thing that I'm gonna try and do today. Gracias. Gracias. All right, well, I've got my 4 Salteña empanadas to take away. They gotta be good if all the local people are waiting for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes to get them. They gotta be really good. So let's go sit down in this beautiful square here and eat them, and then I'll tell you about the rest of the day. Oh yeah, Salteñas. It's a Bolivian empanadas. It's gonna be so good. It's like meat and potatoes. Oh, it's so good. Well, those were absolutely delicious. So we're in Potosi, and Potosi was founded by the Spanish in around 1550, so the mid 16th century, and it was founded for one reason and one reason only, and that reason is silver. Outside of the city, you have Cerro Rico, the rich mountain, and it's just full of silver. So the Spanish came here, found the silver. There's a cool story with that. And basically by the 17th century, almost the majority of the silver in the world came from this mountain in Potosi and funded the Spanish Empire. So we're gonna go check out the mountain, and because it's still in use today, it's the only place in the world where you can buy dynamite without a license. So I'm gonna go try and buy some dynamite and light that off. But first, let's go check out the old mint, where they minted all the coins. You can see some of the old machinery for minting. Really, really cool. Check that out, and then go check out the mountain and some dynamite. All right, so now we're gonna walk up to the miners market, where you can buy the dynamite, coca, some hand-rolled cigarettes, just all sorts of stuff that the miners use. Oh, it's really difficult walking uphill and talking at the same time. Probably gonna try a little bit of the chewing the coca. It's meant to help with the altitude. But yeah, so we're gonna go check out the miners market, and then I don't think I'm gonna go into the actual mine for lots of different reasons, but we'll check out the mountain. It's also known as the mountain that eats men. They estimate that about 8 million people have died in that mountain. Most of them slaves from the Spanish times. Poor dog's getting used. That's okay. I got distracted with that. Poor dog. So yeah, about 8 million people have died. So that is Cerro Rico, and the mountain that eats men. The mine's meant to be extremely dangerous. They've been mining it for over 400 years, and there's no organization, so people have just made tunnels all through it, and it's at risk of apparently imminent collapse at any time. I'm so out of breath. Okay, so I managed to find the coca and the dynamite, but the ladies put the absolute fear of God into me about the dynamite, so now I don't know how good of an idea it really is. She was less concerned about the dynamite and more concerned about the blasting cap. She was like, the blasting cap is just so dangerous, like it'll take your hand off, make sure you don't play around with it. So now I'm not so sure if this is a good idea. Not that it was a good idea from the start. Anyway, gonna try a little bit of the coca. It's so hard to breathe. The altitude in my head's a little bit fuzzy. And then, yeah, decide what we'll do with the rest of it. Oh, I feel like a real idiot now. It's kind of squishy. All right, well, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do about the dynamite. I feel kind of silly about it now. I'm like, oh, what do I do with this thing? Don't even want to carry it around with me, put it on the bike. But we'll find out. I'm heading towards Uyuni tomorrow. But now, before it gets dark, because it gets below freezing when it gets dark, I'm going to go get some dinner. And they have like a traditional stone soup, which is really interesting. So let's go try that. Wow, stone soup. Getting everywhere. Wow. All right, so it's a new day in Potosi, and we're gonna head off towards the mountain. I think it's probably a better idea to offload the dynamite onto a miner, someone that can use it. If I had someone else with me, I would probably do it, but just there's no one, if something goes wrong, there's no one around to help. So we're gonna go see the mountain, check out the miners, and then head to Uyuni Salt Flats. Okay, so the bike actually wouldn't start this morning, which is a bit concerning. I'm hoping it was just a combination of, at the altitude there's not enough oxygen and the bike was really cold. So once I let it sit in the sun for a minute, it started, here goes nothing. All right, good stuff. Yeah, I think it was just lack of oxygen, really thick oil. So I'm actually a tiny bit nervous with the dynamite in my bag. I'll be happy to get rid of it. Oh, is this guy parked here? Oh, that's annoying. Hola, señor. ¿Cómo estás? Yo vi que tú vives aquí, ¿no? Ah, ok. Sí, no es un buen lugar para estacionarlo. Pero discúlpame, ¿no sabe quién carro es eso? No. Hola, ¿ese carro es de ustedes? ¿Ese carro estacionado? No. Bueno, gracias. Hola, buenas. Muy bien, ¿usted? Una pregunta. Ellos me dijo que es el carro de... Aquí al lado. Ah, ok. Don Juan Carlos. Hola, buenas. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Es su carro? Gracias. Well, that's just a silly place to be parking. Ugh. I can't believe that they actually just parks there. Look at the mountain there. Huge thing. Just a huge mountain towering over everything. So the story goes, the legend is that, I think his name was Diego Huelpa. So it was, some stories say it was a shepherd, some people say it was a native miner for the Spanish, but apparently he was in the area and he camped for the night, and he camped on this mountain and he set a fire, and when he set the fire the ground started melting underneath him, and what that was silver. The silver content was so high in some of the ores, I believe it was as high as 90%, and yeah, the mountain started melting underneath him. He told the Spanish, and the rest is history. This actually, Potosi, at one point, I think around 1600, early 1600s, it was actually one of the largest cities, I believe, in the world, and the largest city in the Americas. It's almost 200,000 people. There was just so much silver that came out of it.
But apparently they by like 1660 or something, they had already exhausted most of the high concentration. I don't think I can go this way, but we're gonna go anyway. Oh boy. They'd exhausted most of the high concentration silver, and that almost stopped the mine until they came up with a new way of mining to get the less concentrated ores out. And they used mercury to get the silver out, which is obviously very unhealthy for the poor miners. This is the miners market where we came yesterday. I think further up here I should be able to spot some miners. Wow, look at that guy. Just passed out. Wow. Look at that. It's a massive mountain. It's a big pump. Oh, wow. So apparently that is just so riddled with mines and everybody doing it kind of independently that it's at imminent risk of collapse at any moment. Señor, dinamita. Bueno, gracias. Ten un buen día, señor. So much happier not having that anymore. All right, off to the salt flats. Oh, you should see how steep this is, though. Crazy. I hope the camera shows even a fraction. Incredible scenery. Just so stark. There's nothing around. Well, it looks like we got some friends on the road. It's creepy how they're just staring at me. Those are llamas, I believe. Hey, buddy. Really cool. And they just turn their back to me. They're staring at me and then they just turn their back to me. Really, really cool animals. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
So high up, so I thought I'm going to try and chew some coca and help with the altitude. So I'll show you how to chew coca. So first you get your bag of coca. Then you just get a big handful of leaves and put it in your mouth. The first time I tried it, I made the mistake of trying to chew it. It's very unpleasant. And then you get a little bit of bicarbonate, baking soda, and you wrap the baking soda in a leaf and put it back in. Too much. Baking soda is very salty. And then you just let it sort of marinate. It's not the nicest taste, but apparently it helps with the altitude. All right, let's keep going.
Oh, these are such cool animals.
Okay, well, we made it to Sucre. Of course, as is normal for me, I lost the last of my batteries right as I came over the mountain and saw the plains out in front of me. But we have lots of time to explore that. So we're here. Thank you so much for watching. And up next is Solarte Uyuni. Really excited for that. Cheers.